Hello, viewer. It's so good to have you join us on today's edition of The Baroness. How are you enjoying your morning so far? Sure hope that it is going on well and you're enjoying all the goodness that the weather is bringing our way. I am Anita Malum, and I'm really super excited to be here, like always, because whenever the Baroness comes, we bring issues that excite you, we talk about things that are of grave concern, and we do the best that we can to prefer solutions. Together, we try to make life better for everyone on the plateau. We missed you last week. We really did. But we're back today, and I'm sure that today you are supercharged and waiting for what we have to offer. Like always, I am not alone. I have my lovely baby sister here with me, Karen Gukas. How does it feel to be back again?
Awesome, really. It was just one of those days where we just had to go off and reset, but we're back, and I believe we're better for it. To our Muslim brothers and sisters out there, we celebrate with you on the Eid al-Maulud, right? Did I call it correctly?
Exactly.
Yes, so happy Salah celebrations. We are in the studio, those of us essential workers, so to say. Please remember to bring our rice, our chicken, and other things in the house. We'll be waiting for that.
Sure, the celebration has to go round. We have every reason to celebrate. And today on The Baroness, we want to give ourselves more reason to celebrate. And the only way we can celebrate is when our environment is clean, when our society is safer, when we have no need to worry when the rain falls. And now we are stepping into the peak of the rainy season. And I can just imagine a lot of people, their heart is in their mouth. They are wondering, what next? How is it going to be? When the rain falls, people start getting scared. And there are so many things. A lot of warnings has been sent out since end of last year, early this year. The warnings are ongoing, but it's like it's falling on deaf ears. And so Baroness doesn't want it to fall on deaf ears again. We want to remind you, especially now that we've gotten into the peak of the rainy season, that there is danger ahead if we don't take the right steps and do the right thing. Not too long ago, a very little stream, I call it a very little stream, because when you see it, it is actually very little. Yet, surprisingly, it flooded an entire area in the Alama Private School section of Rock Heaven. It was horrible. It carried a vehicle. When I went there and I saw the little stream and the big havoc it caused, it was a cause of worry. And so many other stories we're hearing like that. You see very little drainages, and yet they're causing great havoc in localities, in homes, and things like that. I just don't know what we are doing. Or is it that somebody says, water no get enemy, you block the road, you will find way,
It must pass, definitely.
It must pass.
If you're blocking the route, it will create a new route and pass. And the sad thing is that you will cry at the end of the day because it will wreak a lot of havoc.
And a lot of people now are drowning in streams, in ponds. Children just find their way there, they see a lot of water, and the place gets surprisingly hot. So children just go there, we want to swim. And then we're having stories of people drowning here, people drowning there, and some people still go to mine, with the rains. Okay, I am not the guest here. We have guests that are experts, but these are some of the issues that are really burning deep in our hearts, and we want something to be done about it. We need to safeguard ourselves, safeguard our children, safeguard our properties. Government cannot do it alone. Sanitation has been ongoing in Plateau State for as long as I can remember. Yes, as long as I can remember. And yet, we still have drainages being blocked. We still have dirt being washed all over the place. People throwing dirt in waterways. And, PEPSA is doing a lot. But it looks like the lot that they are doing is not yielding the right kind of result. Because they do their best, they clear it. Tomorrow we go back and we dump it again. It's like we are not learning any lesson. Anyway, Karen will introduce our guest, and they are experts in their field, and they will tell us what we need to do and how we can mitigate the flooding that is threatening our society and what the weather has in store for us.
Well, without much ado, let's meet our guest on the Baroness today. As Anita said, they are indeed experts in the field, and they would do justice to the topic of discourse. We have the director of the Plateau State Environmental Protection and Sanitation Agency, PEPSA, Mrs. Naomi Longlam. It's a pleasure to have you on the Baroness.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, ma'am. She's also accompanied by Mr. Mohammed Labiru of the Antonin Nyong Climate Center of Excellence, University of Jos. Thank you for also availing yourself on the
Thank you very much.
The last time we saw you was last year.
Yeah.
You're looking quite improved and better. Thank
When
you
he came to warn us.
Yes, when he came to warn us about the predictions of NIMET and all that. Yes, I think we're going to start with you, sir.
Okay.
You know, between the last time you were here on the Baroness
Yeah.
till today, let's talk about weather patterns.
Okay.
Is
So,
there a bit of improvement? Is it better than the previous time you were around?
yeah, it depends on the angle we are looking at it.
Okay.
If we are looking at it in terms of the moisture we received, there is deficit in the sense that the moisture we are now receiving is not up to what was recorded last time
Okay.
as of now. And that has been acclaimed to so many issues. For instance, this is August, and this is the peak of rainfall. But if you notice, the rainfall is not as expected. And most of the times, early in the morning, if you see how the sun shine, it's sending signal as if the rains are about to leave. That is cessation. But the fact is this, already there are already issues that are happening globally, which is the rise in sea surface temperature, that is the El Nino. But that may not determine the weather pattern here in Nigeria, because in Nigeria mostly our rainfall pattern is being controlled by the ITD, Intertropical Discontinuity, and then ITCZ, Intertropical Convergence Zone. These are the points where the warm and the dry air meets. So, but this time around, the ITD is retreating northward. So when it retreats northward, it moves faster than expected. So in that regard, the moisture will drastically reduced. That is why we are seeing these anomalies.
Why is it retreating northwards?
When warm and dry air meet, at the point, that is the point of their meeting, the point of interaction, that is the intertropical convergence zone, is survival of the fittest.
Okay.
The one that has stronger force will strive in. So that is what actually happens, because the Harmattan was already weak from November. And these are some of the things that will determine rainfall pattern. So from November to December down to January, Harmattan was already weak. But still, there are suspended dust particles, and those dust particles cannot disappear at once. So sometimes when the cool moisture comes, when it interacts with them, there will be a reverse reaction, which will in turn affect the amount that we are supposed to receive on Earth's surface.
Okay. But you know, over time, it looks like, from what you're saying, we are not having as much rainfall as we should. Yet, we are experiencing flooding. You know, flooding in certain areas. Why is that so?
Yeah, that is very normal, because urbanization is the next order of the day. You know, people are just building houses haphazardly. They occupy the waterways. So water, when you block it ways, when it comes, it can decide to take more than what it has. Because as you block the waterways, if the water is coming in large volume. So the speed, the gravity, and the force the water has, it has the capacity, the ability to create more channels. Where it cannot create more channels, the first thing it will do, it will empty the waste, the dirty that has been thrown into it, back to the various homes where the dirties are coming. And when water is sending it back, it didn't put consideration from the point of origin. It will just put it nearby. That is one. Then secondly, if you look at what is currently happening within the plateau, deforestation is taking place on a daily basis. So those trees have been cut down. So you know, any environment that has natural vegetation, the leaves of those trees, they usually serve as interception. When the rain is falling from the sky, those leaves of trees, they reduce the intensity and the speed of the rain from reaching the ground surface. But once those trees are not there, the grasses are not there, as the rain is falling, it will fall directly on the bare soil, And when it falls on the bare soil, there is what is called runoff. Runoff will tend to be high, mass movement will tend to be high. So once the runoff is high, the water will move in large volume. But when there are natural vegetation, it will reduce the speed and the amount. So in that regard, instead of the water to move directly into the water channels, it will now reduce. But when the natural vegetations are not there, as the rain is falling, it will move directly into the water channels, and as a result of such, since the water channel has been blocked, it will create a flash flood, or we now say man-made flood. Apart from that, a typical example is this. If you know this Hill Station Junction, yes. When you go to Hill Station Junction with a car, if you free that car, it can move down to Polo. What gives it that scenario is the slope. The same thing with rainfall. If rainfall is falling, if there is no interception, it moves very fast on the ground surface. But when there are grasses and trees, those grasses and trees tend to reduce the speed. It's like when you are going on that hill station, as I gave a scenario, yes. When you get to west of Mine Junction, after that, there are some bumps. You need to slow down because of your shocks. But rain, when it's falling, if you look at the surface where there are no trees, it moves faster into the waterways. And because people have built houses in between the waterways, it will try to create channel. Apart from that, people usually throw dirty into the waterways. They empty their dirties. When it's raining, they'll say, go and throw it into the waterways. So those dirty, it will get to a point where it will block. When it blocks, the water will begin to come back. Not directly at that channel, maybe somewhere else in the front. So when it's blocked, the water will be pushing back to the point that those dirty will move out. The first thing it does is to send the dirty out. After sending the dirty out, the water will have enough speed to create attrition and corrosion effect within the water channels, thereby falling down houses among others.
Wow, Mrs. Longlam, let's come back to you.
We have entered her jurisdiction.
I'm sure we could listen to you for hours, but let's take a pause there. When it comes to issues of sanitation, it's not something that is just emerging today. It's an ongoing conversation. A lot of agencies, government, public have championed a lot of initiatives to ensure that sanitation efforts are strengthened across Plateau State and even in Nigeria. Now, looking at all these efforts, one of such is the monthly sanitation that your agency oversees. Are they yielding results? Can we say that when it comes to sanitation, Plateau State is fully complying?
Thank you for having me once again. PEPSA is an agency under Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Mineral Development. Today in PEPSA, we have so many responsibilities. Aside from waste evacuation within Jos and Bukuru Metropolis, we have house-to-house inspection, we have school inspection, we have decongestion of traffic, we have control of destitute, we have environmental monthly sanitation in every last Saturday of the month. We have market sanitation. As an agency, waste evacuation is the main activities that we do in PEPSA, because we do go out, evacuate waste within Jos and Bukuru Metropolis from Monday to Saturday, sometimes even Sundays, because we must generate waste. As long as we live, waste must be generated. But how do we manage this waste? The way you manage your waste is different from the way I manage my own waste. But at the end of it all, we are meeting at the same dump site, which is the final dump site. Because from there, we are recovering what we have dumped there as recovery back to us as well. To you, it's a waste, to us is revenue coming to us. Because the compost, we do sell the compost to farmers, applying on their farm land during farming season, during irrigations as farming. We use a compost manual on various locations. When you want it, then you call on PEPSA, we deliver, and you pay the government.
Okay.
That's
that's quite interesting. Before we get to the benefits of the waste, Labiru made mention of the fact that people are dumping waste on waterways. You know, they go and just dump it in waterways, and that is one of the reasons why we're experiencing some of the flooding that we are having. Now, what is PEPSA doing with regards to these people dumping refuse in waterways? Is there a way that they can be monitored? Is there any monitoring team to ascertain the fact that people have refuse in their homes and they're disposing them properly, you know, or how can we stop that? And then you are also into environmental protection.
Yeah.
Labiru mentioned the fact that trees are felled every day. So what can we do about that? Because the flooding is really taking over our city and is a thing of concern.
So in every year, since this present administration resumed office, we have an activities called the silting of drainages.
Okay.
We start these activities in the month of March. Up to date, we are into the silting drainage system to have a clear way for the flow of water to the final channel.
Okay.
The silting, we remove silt, stones, waste, sand that block the waterways. The culverts we cleared by digging and removing all this dirt out, so that before the commencement of the rainfall, which I earlier mentioned, which is March, so when the rain comes, it will find its way to its final channel.
Okay.
So the silting really help, because without the silting, I don't know how the state will look like, because the way we are looking at it coming to us is not a thing that one will sit down and joke with it. People should come out and do the needful. You have drainages in front of your houses. It's your house, it's your life, it's your environment. There is need for you to help yourself in order to clean your environment, and let's all keep to clean and healthy.
So I'd like to come back to you.
Okay.
You know, there's such a thing as poor waste disposal processes.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to people disposing garbages like plastics and even nylon and some of these things that take a lot of time they don't even decompose. How can people ensure that they do it properly? Yeah. Because sadly to say, a lot of people might dispose their waste properly, but because of the rains, the heavy nature of it, you find out that the rains would pick them from the site of the dump site and take them to other places. And you can pass by that place for you're passing by that place for months and months, and that thing is still there. Yes. So what should be done? How should people dispose this stuff properly?
You see, it's like this question you just asked. It's like somebody sitting on top of gold, but he didn't know that he was sitting on top of gold. And he will just be begging people for money. For instance, all these plastic waste and leathers you are talking about, do you know now they are money?
Okay.
Yes. A swan water bottle, the smallest one, is sold 15 naira. In fact, whenever we have program in the university, I usually carry those and keep them in the office. I have a sack where I keep them.
So yes. You're also into that business?
Yes. Those plastics, people should not be throwing them away. They should gather them. The least they buy a plastic bottle is 10 naira. It depends on the size.
So a bag would go for how much?
It depends on how many.
It depends on how many. Let's say you have that of 10 naira and you have 50 pieces.
Okay.
That is how much? 500 naira, I think. So you see, 500 naira, even if you are using it to buy, let's say, sugar, you will have 2 cups. But when you end up throwing it on daily basis, you create environmental imbalance, and you are reducing your source of income. Because when you continue to keep those plastics, by the end of the day, when you sell them, something can be done with the money. Even if you don't want to, you can tell children, okay, gather them and sell. Like what I did in the house, children gather it, they sell it out and make their money. Then those leathers that people are throwing, the same leathers can still be recycled. People are buying them. People are buying them. So the fact is this, people should avoid throwing, more especially plastic and leather, because it can take them hundreds of years. It can take hundreds of years before it decay.
You know, I still want to come back to an issue. You know, the cost of fuel, the global prices, everywhere is experiencing skyrocketing cost of fuel. And it's affecting Nigeria most deeply. And because of that, people have turned to alternative sources of fuel to cook. One of the most important one right now is either charcoal or firewood.
Yes.
And go and ask the average woman on the street, she will tell you that nylon, plastics, leather, they've become a valuable resource because you can just use them as fuel.
For lighting.
Yes, to ensure that the firewood catches properly, especially this rainy season when a lot of wood is not very dry.
Yes.
Can we say that that is also harmful, using this nylon and even some of this charcoal? Because you as experts are warning that it causes contamination of the ozone layer and some of the complex terms you use.
Actually, using charcoal, it has environmental effect. Because first of all, a tree must be cut down. And those trees provide oxygen for our respiration. So if the trees are not more available, where do we get the clean air, which we are going to use for respiration? So after they cut down the trees absorb carbon that we release during respiration. It absorbs carbon from moving vehicles. It absorbs those particles that are moving from ground surface, which lead to other conventional activities within the atmosphere. But the fact is this: government need to play its role. They should subsidize cooking gas to the point where an average man can afford. Otherwise, these conflicts we are seeing in Nigeria now, we have not seen anything. Most of the conflicts in Nigeria, they are climate-related conflicts, in the sense that I graze on your farm, you talk to me for the first time, I refuse to take. The next thing you fight back. But if the right thing is done, the environment will be safeguarded. And we need to know one thing. This issue you just mentioned, it did not only stop on those firewood whatsoever. The neighboring countries now around Nigeria, because we are already affected by this effect of desertification among others, they are moving toward us because of the little greener pasture we have. But still, the issue of using those leather, yes, when you are burning leathers and plastic, they release carbon. And it's carbon monoxide, which is a bit dangerous. If you put the leather or the plastic and it's burning the same time with the charcoal, if you stay for the next 3 minutes, you begin to cough.
Can't you do it safely, like close your doors?
There's no safety.
I've heard someone say that. She said she closed the doors and everything.
Then where will she be after she closes the door? Outside the door? Because if you want to do that, you just take it aside where there are no children. After you light it, when it peaks, you bring it back. But still, before the process of lightning starts, smoke must be released, which is dangerous to health of human. And then later on, if it moves further, it destroys the ozone layer, as you pointed out earlier. So the best thing is to go for clean energy, which is gas. Like Cameroon, if you go to Cameroon, it will surprise you. You know the cooking gas they use? They generate it from their toilet.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The toilet we are using, that air that is coming from it, it can be converted to cooking gas.
And it's not harmful.
It's not harmful. It's not, because it undergoes treatment. It undergoes treatment. They will just come to your house, they will connect a pipe, if you agree. They will supply the cooking gas back to you through the pipe. And then by the end of the day, instead of you to pay the government is paying you. Because the quantity of gas that has been generated from your latrine will determine the amount of gas will be sent to you.
Now that brings me to the next question, which is for you now, Mrs. Longlam. You know, he's talking about getting energy, clean energy from toilets. And recently we learned that there's an outbreak of cholera. And from a program we had some weeks back, you know, on another fora, it was said that most of the time rainwater washes waste from open defecation, which means open defecation is still ongoing here on the plateau. So what is PEPSA doing to ensure that this open defecation comes to a stop? Because if we don't have toilets, like he said, we will not be able to step up and have this kind of renewable energy. So what is PEPSA doing with that?
As I earlier said, we do an activity called house-to-house inspection.
Okay.
This is where we go to houses and visit their toilets, how they collect their waste, how they dispose their waste, staying together in the community with neighbors. If they have any sick person in the house, let them alert us. So we'll give a verbal notice. After verbal notice, if they didn't comply with a verbal notice, we are going to serve them with abatement notice. That nuisance must be abated with a certain period of time given to them. So in terms of open defecation, we do house to house, as I earlier said, we do waste evacuation on daily basis. But most of the times, you see people building houses without toilet. And if I have toilet in my house, maybe I have a visitor from a village, she may not use my toilet. What can I do? We have behavioral things, again, affecting this, what we are doing in PEPSA. Because this is the toilet located in Bukuru. But people, not everybody will use the toilet. They prefer to go to the bush and defecate. Thank God we have a World Bank project in the agency, so much project. So it's all about water and sanitation. So in PEPSA, we have built so many toilets in LEA schools, in Jos South local government, and primary health care, in order to curtail the issue of defecating around without the use of toilet.
Let's talk about market sanitation. It's one of the activities you mentioned that PEPSA also conducts. Now, one would agree with me that markets generate one of the highest waste in any society, because people of all walks of life, the sanitation can be quite appalling. Now, what do you do on a daily basis? I'm talking about beyond the monthly sanitation exercise.
For markets.
Yes, to ensure that corporates or people who are found wanting are either fined or to serve as a deterrent to others or punished.
Okay. The market sanitation is being observed every last Thursday of the month. 2 days to environmental
Is that
sanitation.
all markets or just central markets?
No, we all have the market location, their contract, but what we normally do, we cannot go to all the markets in a day. So we section them into phases. Today, this month, we are going to Faringada market. So from 7 to 10, sanitation hour, they are going to clean up their market before 10 o'clock. Then the market will be open. Another Thursday, we are going to Bukuru. They will do the cleaning before 10 o'clock, before doing the general sanitation on a Saturday, last Saturday of the month. Right now in Terminals and Bukuru area, we have engaged security men so that issue of waste evacuation, PEPSA cannot stand in isolation alone. People must partner with the agency in order to do the right thing. Because around that Jais Bank in Amadu Beluri, that's our main challenge. People evacuate, they dump waste indiscriminately there. So after evacuating this waste with our truck on daily basis, move to the next point. The first starting point, people have done another waste. Before rounding up the evacuation and collection, they have done both ways again. So you mean government will still go back and start evacuating the waste before we have a clean environment in the state? No, we have to involve enforcement to see the evacuation collection in the market area. Because without bringing security into this issue, we continue having the same problem. It repeats itself. Wow. We will not have a solution. So right now they are there. The fine is there, the no dumping is there. We place our Dano bin in 3 locations in Terminus area alone. One at Yankeke, close to Jais Bank, not on the main road. Then the second at AP police station. And the third Dano bin is being placed at Yankwali axis for easy collection. When you are caught, don't say it, we don't see where we are going to dump our waste. The big containers are there. When it gets filled, they will call on us, we'll come and remove it, transport to the final disposal site.
I would want us to continue with that issue of market sanitation and evacuation of waste. But we'll take a very quick break. When we come back, we would continue with our discussion. It's still the Baroness, and we're looking at sanitation and flooding. these are things of great concern, and the consequences is taking a toll on us on the plateau. We still have our guests. We have Mrs. Naomi Longlam from PEPSA and Mohammed Labiru from the Nyong Center for Excellence. And he's also the secretary of, the publicity secretary of NIMET. We'll be back after a break. Don't go away.
Against you. We consider that very unfortunate.
You are not here. Never been a moment.
Whether it's entertainment, education, or information, we're always here for you. Stay tuned to the Baroness on PRTVC every Tuesdays from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. and repeats on Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. The Baroness, changing lives a day at a time.
I hear your SOS, your SOS.
So it's good actually that our leaders led in this position. It's very good.
People had to stay, other people had to take care of other people.
But obviously, we do that because we want to keep.
You are not here.
See a little chicken at 2 weeks. It's almost
Never
edible.
been a moment you were forgotten. You are not hopeless.
Social workers, and basically
You
they
have
are
been
there to
broken,
understand the person,
your
how the
innocence
environment affects
stolen.
that person.
I
Why is
hear
that?
you whisper underneath your breath.
Doesn't know how to treat a woman.
I hear your
But you already said,
SOS.
I said that to my daughter one day, that is this how you're going to cook for your husband or son? She looked.
I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true.
Stay tuned to the Baroness on PRTV Jos every Tuesdays from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. and repeats on Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Cannot be covered.
The Baroness, changing lives a day at a time.
Welcome back from that break. It's still the Baroness, and we are still talking about sanitation and flooding on the plateau. The sanitation experts are here, the flooding experts, or should I say the weather experts are here, and they have been telling us some very troubling things about our attitude and our way of life here on the plateau. It is our attitude, our the way we behave towards waste disposal, and the laissez-faire attitude we show towards sanitation practices in general that is leading to some of the terrible things that is affecting us, the flooding, the outbreak of cholera, which, by the way, there is an outbreak of cholera in 2 local governments, just north and in Mangu, with reported cases, quite a number of reported cases, and even some deaths have been recorded, and that should be of great concern because cholera is mainly gotten from water and water sources, and when you just defecate openly, rainwater washes it, and so many bad practices that we do. But before the break, we're talking about Mrs. Naomi Longlam was talking about the market waste disposal, and I remember there was a time when PEPSA ensured that every vehicle had a waste bin, every shop had a waste bin, and it was easier for them. You have a waste bin in front of your shop, inside your shop, and I don't know what has happened to that, because it doesn't seem to be available. I've been to certain shops and I've asked them, where can I throw this? And they tell me they don't have a dustbin. I should just, when I go outside, I just anywhere I find.
They will just tell you throw it there.
You know, and things like that.
Yeah, some of them, they have it, but they hide it. Because we do enforcement on waste bin, shop to shop. Over,
okay.
With a magistrate. Without a bin, there is a fine for that. With a bin, you scale through. So most of them have it, they hide it. Some of them, they sort it out. And more to that, we want to review that same enforcement back, because, as I earlier said, enforcement, we just engage security on that aspect. Because at that same Jai's Bank, since last week, you will not see even a polythene being dropped in that Jai's roundabout. And yesterday we bought flowers. We are going to plant flowers in that central media of the Ahmadu Bello axis. Okay. Same to Mutsala axis, because the bins are there. So we are going to go out for enforcement of waste bin. The security are there, no complaint. Let people do the right thing.
You know about these Dano bins, you mentioned that, particularly around that Jai's Bank, you said there are about 3 Dano bins there. Now, of concern to a lot of residents is the fact that certain areas that are densely populated that ought to have Dano bins do not. Yes. So the question here is, what determines whether a Dano bin will be placed in an area or not?
We're supposed to have this Dano bin almost all the community. You know, the Dano bin is 64 in number during the administration of John Adelicha. He brought 64 Dano bins to the agency under Ministry of Environment. But it will shock you today, it's not up to 30. Why? Because people set fire on them. How? After the woman roasting maize, the man selling akara, frying akara, roasted meat. At the end of the business, they will carry the ashes with the fire, they will go and dump it inside the Dano bin. That's how it sets ablaze on the fire. And one chaka plate today, we repair, for the repairs is 85,000 for one sheet of chaka plate.
No, but are they easily destroyed? You know, because we see that they are made of metal and they seem like they're heavy.
Yes, they destroyed, fire destroyed them. They are aluminum metal, they destroyed. And what we normally do now, we cannot leave the community like that because of the outbreak that is coming out from the community. Like people living in Gangare, Axis, and Dilini, the heat at the terminus area, when rains come, it floods everything to such communities. Within a short period, we start hearing of outbreak here and there. So what we normally do, we go, we have a program called Community Support Sanitation. They will come to the office, we want to sanitize our community. Then our support is to give them truck, we fuel the truck, we carry our boys, then our working tools. We go to the community. You don't have a Dano bin. So can you show us or give us a location? Maybe you'll be dumping, that's a transfer station. Can PEPSA be evacuating once a week, twice a month from there? That's how we work with communities that don't have that bin.
What happened to private there was a time when we had them in certain areas. I know I had engaged their services. I really enjoyed their services because every week they come and, you know, they come and pick the refuse from my house. I pay and things like that. But I don't seem to see so many of them, you know, around in the metropolis anymore. Has that stopped, or is this something that is ongoing? And how can people have access to them? And were they effective?
Yeah, the few are still in the system.
Okay.
Because during the inauguration, most of them, they don't have the working facility.
Okay.
Yes, that's what affects their exercise. So, but today, as I'm speaking, we have few of them.
Okay.
And they are still working in the state. But we are still having problem with them. Why? Because the dump site is another issue. You cannot collect money and carry waste and go and dump it again for government to come and evacuate again. You see, we are having double work.
Don't you know where the dump site is?
We have, no, if you are a private operator, you're supposed to have your dump site.
Oh, different from
Approved
government?
by the government, yes.
Oh, okay. I thought government
Today
dump
we
site
have
is okay.
2 government-approved dump sites in the state.
Okay.
But they are not put to use because of the no access road to them. One in Bassa and one in Just South. So the temporary dump site we are using, like now, the volume of waste is high. Why? Because it's a waste. And we don't encourage burning of waste in the agency. But no matter what you do, people must burn waste to reduce the volume. But waste must evacuated from start to finish and sort out from there the transport to the final disposal site.
All right.
Right now, we are using way to Bauchi. There is one of our temporary dump site there. And you can see the distance from just to that at Babele, thank you, Babele, to dump our waste. We must remove waste from the city to dump it where we cannot have harm to us. It will not cause harm to us and offensive or back to the community.
All right. I'm going to interrupt here. It's just a brief pause to remind us of the fact that this is the Baroness live on PRTVC. We are streaming this program on our YouTube and our Facebook platforms. You can locate us on the Baroness at PRTVC Live. The Baroness at PRTVC Live. We will open our phone lines for you to call with messages and questions. The line to do so is 0915936114. It's going to be displayed on your television set. Let's come back to you, sir. It's a practice of burying waste. Okay.
Very okay.
Okay, so you can just dig deep and just, okay.
Any kind of waste? Can you bury any kind of waste?
No, with plastic and leather in exemption.
Okay.
You know, those ones that are degradable, when you dig a pit and bury them, 1, 0 odor, 0 environmental effect. The only effect it can be pronounced within that location. But still you cannot dig a pit where you want to bury your waste close to water body. For instance, streams, boreholes and wells. If you have a location where those facilities are not close by, when you bury it, it's very good. In fact, by the end of the day, after it decay, you can remove it out as compost manure. But still, those compost manure people are using, they have health implications. Because some of the waste has heavy metals on them. So when you use them in the farm, those heavy metals will penetrate into the crops. And by the time you consume them, you begin to develop some illness in which you may not know where they are coming from. But there is need for sorting, categorization, among others. Categorization.
Okay.
You categorize.
Okay.
You categorize the waste. Which type of waste is this? Which type of waste is this? Sometimes even the mechanic, even the welding people can carry their waste and put. I know they have metals in them. So in that regard, if sorting is done properly, and then the compost manure can be assessed in lab to know if the heavy metals inside are too many, it will be harmful to health when used in the farm.
Okay, you know, earlier on you spoke about recycling, and so I want to go back to you now, Mrs. Longlam. You spoke about recycling. Does PEPSA have a recycling facility? You know, because you made mention the fact that the waste is quite enormous. The waste that we have here on the plateau is quite enormous, and we can turn waste to wealth. You know, the example Labiru gave of the PET bottles that are being sold. Is it possible for the state government now to have a dump site where some of this waste is being sorted and recycled for something else? Is it possible? Mrs. Longlam?
Okay. We don't recycle waste as an agency. Okay. But we partner with those that recycle, like the Green Center.
Okay.
In one of our dump sites, there is a plan going on for waste to power energy. There is a program that is coming up, so we are planning towards that program in one of the dump sites in Jero. We are going to start recycling it's just last week that we launched our solid waste management framework in the state. So because of the review on our law before the implementation of that activities regarding to that waste management framework in the state.
All right.
So plan is ongoing
towards
that.
But you mentioned a green center. Is that green center located in Jos?
Yes, it's located in Jos around all airport. They recycle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We have zero waste recyclers that are in Jude.
Wow.
We work hand in hand with them, mixing this waste, the polythene. We can pick the polythene, melt it with a small portion of cement and sand powder. Then they have a machine. After mixing it together, they will design it and bring it out from their machine as in bricks, tiles that we use. With these same ways that we are evacuating and dumping. In a tailor shop, all manner of cotton is being thrown away. You will see a wrapper here and there being thrown away. You can pick it and make bangles, necklaces, match to your clothes, and the feet will look beautiful going out. These are ways.
Turning waste to wealth. Very impressive. Let's come back to you, Mr. Labiru. Unfortunately, there is perhaps a lot of people have been under the rain. It's difficult for you to see that you haven't experienced or been drenched by the rain. Now, when it happens, the question people ask is, where is the safest place to be when it starts raining? Sometimes it's very heavy.
Okay.
Yes, should it be inside the car you're already in? Should you look for under trees? People have asked me that I've actually been in that position where I'm just outside and it's raining, and I begin to look for places to seek shelter. So where is the safest place to go to when it starts raining?
The safest place is to go to where there are buildings without tall trees. Because when it's raining heavily, sometimes, more especially the conventional rainfall that comes with thunder and lightning. If there are lightnings usually strikes on the tallest structure or object. So if you run into an upstairs where the strike is about to happen, if that upstairs is the tallest and there is a strike, it will fall on it. So normally go for low levels buildings. Don't stay under the tree, because when you stand under the tree, except if you are in the farm, even if you are in the farm, don't go and stand hide under the tallest tree. Look for the shortest one, because once thunder is coming, it looks as the tallest object, then strikes on it. So if you stand under a tall tree, God forbid you are not praying for, once ever there is thunder strike, the tree may end up falling on you. So this not only human beings, the same thing is applicable to car owners. If you are going to park your cars because of shade during rainy season, make sure you don't park it on the tallest tree within that vicinity. Look for a short one and park, so that if there is a strike of thunder, as the tree is falling, it will not damage your car. There are some cases in which you had that a car was just parked and a tree fall on it because of strike or even strong wind.
Most of the times people just park and then they remain inside the car.
Yes, which is very dangerous. If you have your car, as you park it, if the place is open, it's safe. But where there are trees, it's better you move to where the trees are not as the shortest ones, then you park there.
Okay, so what advice now would you have for people? We'll start with you, Labiru. What advice would you have? How can we reclaim our land? How can we make it safer? How can we ensure that the climate change that is affecting the whole world is mitigated to some degree for us here on the plateau?
One, afforestation. We should continue to plant more trees. As we are cutting down the trees, plant more. Then secondly, people should avoid buildings on waterways. Thirdly, all these mining activities that are going on, they should be properly monitored and checked. In the sense that, when you excavate a land, you expose it. So whenever there is strong heating of the sun, evaporation from that surface will be much. So when the evaporation took place, it will lead to high moisture within the atmosphere. So as the rain is falling down, it will fall down in excess. And since those natural vegetation is not there, it will create room for large runoff and thereby causing flash flood and man-made flood. So all those things, we need to avoid them. As you are carrying out mining in a particular location, make sure you plant trees by the neighborhood so that when the evaporation moves up and as the rain is falling, those trees will serve as what? Interception, or we do it in a layman language, stoppage. As the rain falls on them, it will reduce.
Okay.
Yes, you know, it's like if they want to flog you on your body in school, if you know they will flog you. Sometimes in primary school you put more shirts. So you know, if they are beating you, you not feel it as if you only put the uniform. So the same thing to rain. Those leaves of trees, and they reduce its effect on the bare soil.
Wow,
Yes.
interesting. Mrs. Longlam, what shall we do? Our sanitation practices are horrible. We don't want to listen and we don't want to learn. So what is your advice to our viewer right now with regards to sanitation practices? And if there are laws that people break and punishment, tell them also they know that
There are punishment for defaulters.
Okay.
So I want to call on the underage boys that roam about picking dirt from house owner and market areas, dumping on the bare ground. People should stop sending wheelbarrow boys for collection of waste within Josambuku Metropolis. And mad people. These mad people, we cannot question them because they are medically deranged. So what we normally do, we stress who sent them with the basket. That's when we retrieve the owner. People should do the right thing. Sanitation is key. It's for me and you. Let's do the right thing and keep our plateau clean and healthy. Thank you.
Okay, we have come to the end of the month. Is there sanitation?
Yeah, very well, on a Saturday.
Okay, can you remind our people about it?
We go out sensitizing people. Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday is market sanitation, and Saturday is general sanitation.
The time again?
7 to 10. Don't stay at home without doing nothing. Locking you for 10 o'clock is not the big deal. Do the right thing. Government will say, we do sanitation, but you didn't participate in your house. Please do the right thing. Thank you.
All right, wow. So you have heard it. Do the right thing. Participate in sanitation. Clean your house. Evacuate waste. If you have drainages, make sure that the drainage is clean and clear. Water can pass through as much as possible. Let us do the needful. That is just what we're telling you. Do the needful. We need to secure our environments. You know, I actually am very afraid of floods. You know, so we need to protect our environment as much as we can. Kermon?
We are once again felicitating with the Muslim Ummah on the Salah celebrations. Remember, please save our rice, eat responsibly, and also keep safe during this period. You know, for those of us going outside, we discover that there is a ban on tricycle. For the motorists that are applying the weights, please ensure that you are safe. Ensure that the people that are boarding your vehicles are equally safe. Remember, we're streaming this live on our YouTube and our Facebook platforms. You can locate us on the Baroness at PRTVC Live. I'm going to end with the words of PEPSA. Protecting the environment is a shared responsibility. Do your part.
Do your part. Do your part. Protect the environment. Clean your environment. Have waste bins in your offices, in your marketplaces, even in your vehicles. I think you should have a law, ma'am. Anybody that you see throwing anything in a car, you should stop them and make sure that they pay a fine.
We have a law. We are reviewing our law.
Because people are really going overboard. Thank you so much, Mrs. Naomi Longlam, for being on the program. And Mr. Mohammed Labiru, thank you so much for availing yourself, and thank you for the information. So you have heard from the experts. Our weather people have told us that there will be floods of the plateau. So what do? PEPSA has told us, make sure that the waterways are clean. Dump your refuse in the right places, not in waterways, so that we can mitigate the issue of flooding. And as much as possible, plant more trees so we'd have less surface water that can eventually lead to flooding. Do have a beautiful celebration. Enjoy the break, and don't forget, tomorrow work continues. And do have a good day.
The land is green and the time is now.
Caring, loving people from the southern zone of Plateau.
London, Northern, South, Shandam, Mikan, Wasedi,
and the land is green, Plateau.
My beautiful Plateau, evergreen Plateau.